What's good, everybody? It's Mike Reed, and welcome to My Life Ministries, where leadership, influence, faith, and evolvement are the principles that we look to live by every single day of our life. And by us living those principles, it helps us to help youth to become motivated young leaders that implement faith every day in their lives as well. Today, I just want to get on here because I want to encourage somebody and just let them know that God did not create us to be in competition with anybody. He didn't create us to compare ourselves to anybody. He didn't create us to compare, our journeys, compare our lifestyles, compare, ourselves, whatever it is. He didn't create us to be in competition or to compare ourselves. But sometimes we get caught up in that moment of walking in that lane of comparisons, and sometimes we don't even know that you're comparing yourself until it's too late sometimes. And sometimes you don't even know that you're competing with the person until it's too late. And when you find yourself competing with that person, it has become so normal and it has become such a part of your lifestyle that you look over the fact that it being wrong. You look over the fact of how it's putting you in a position to where it's holding you back, and how it's bringing on so much pride in your life, and it's just bringing on just so many things that you don't want because you're in competition or you're trying to compare. God, he called us to be excellent on the level that he puts us on. He has given each and every one of us our own purpose. And he's given each and every one of us, our own lane. We are, although that we are humans, and we are males and we are females, and we walk according to God's plan, and some of us may even do the same things. We may do be in the same lane of work, or we may be in the same lane of finances, or we may be in the same lane of whatever the case may be. But when God created us, we are individually created in a different uniqueness, according to God's plan. So none of us, although we may be the same, we are not the same. And God created us that way. But we refuse to see ourselves as what God has created us to be, because we're so busy trying to keep up and try to balance and try to compare ourselves. You see, we are in a position right now to where God, he wants to open up this lane for us, and he wants to bless us, and he wants to give us these things. But we don't know how to accept what God has given us, because it doesn't look like what the next man has. And because it doesn't look like what the next man has, we totally miss out on our blessing, or we totally miss out on our instructions, or we totally miss out on the door that God has opened up for us. Because it's like, how is this person have this, but you want me to have that? And this right here doesn't fit with what I thought that I expected, or this right here doesn't fit with what I thought that I deserve. It really doesn't matter what you feel like you deserve. It really doesn't matter what you expect. It's whatever God decides to give you. It's whatever God decides to open up in your life at that moment, because God works in seasons. He works in time. He works differently than the way that we expect, in the way that that we feel. Or he doesn't, it's not about our emotions. It's not about the way that we feel about the situation. None of that matters, because it's all up to God's plan. So don't let you comparing yourself to somebody else because they may have a nicer house than you, or they may have a nicer car than you, or they may have a better job than you, or they may have more money than you, or they may dress better than you, or they may have, you can name it. Everybody out there can think about things that they compare themselves to from what everybody else has. Don't allow that to be evident in your life anymore, because it's a waste of time. It really is a waste of time, because you go out there and you go broke trying to impress people that aren't even thinking about you. They're not thinking about you. They really don't care. And you're doing these things just to please yourself, to make yourself feel good, and you miss out on what God has for you. So the moment that you stop trying to compare yourself to what everybody else has, and compare yourself to what everybody else is doing. Stay on the lane that God has for you and accept what he gives to you at those moments, and accept, how he orchestrates your life and how he plans your life, and really begin to just dive deep into your word to understand, Lord, help me to remove that whole comparison. Help me to remove that whole competition, because it's going to take you nowhere, and it's literally going to just keep taking you down this steep slope, and you're going to keep going at 100 miles an hour to the point to where you're just going to crash hard, and you're going to sit back and you're going to wonder why your life is in a position that it is because you're not accepting the plan. You're not accepting the will of God. You're trying to keep up, and you're trying to fall suit, and you're trying to fall in line with what everybody else is doing so you can keep up with everybody else, when God is trying to redirect you. God is trying to show you something new. God is trying to move differently in your life, and you're blocking him because you're looking at what the next man has. Learn to humble yourself before God. Really learn to humble yourself before God, and ask God to take away any type of pride. Ask God to take away any type of comparisons, anything that's going to hinder you from accepting the door that he has from you and accepting the lane that he has for you, because you are uniquely different, and God created you to be you. And until you understand that God created you to be you, then until you understand that, then that's when you're going to keep going into the lane to where you're trying to compare yourself to everybody. So I just wanted to get on here and encourage somebody and let them know, stop comparing yourself. Your lane is your lane, and you stay in the lane that God has for you. You're not meant to be like everybody else, and your season will come as God sees fit to give it to you. And you got to trust, and you have to believe in him in that. So just wanted to get in here and encourage somebody and let them know that, don't compare. Let God be your guide, and let God give you what he has for you, and you be you at all times. So you guys have a wonderful and a blessed day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.